be funny though.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, barroom banter.
It's a good night to do it.
Hell yeah, it's nice, quiet.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not 1 a.m.
St. Patrick's Day's coming up, though.
Yeah,
You know, the Irish holiday.
absolutely.
Get drunk and run around and, do some pub crawling, I guess. Huh? Is that what everybody's doing?
What color do you usually wear?
I mean, you got to have some green on, brother.
You know the other color you should wear on.
Gold?
No, it's orange.
Why?
It's Protestantism on St. Patrick's. You wear orange.
Fuck. Come on, dude.
Yeah, I wear orange. I wear orange on St. Patty's.
Dude, I mean, red, I guess orange. They have like orange hair, huh?
Well,
red hair.
No, it was for like
leprechaun.
It was like a symbol of Protestantism, and like green was a symbol of Ireland and Catholicism. There's like a whole thing about that. Like in Northern Ireland, they wore orange.
Yeah. What's the latest news, man? Anything crazy happen?
You know, honestly, the news has been wild since every day since the last time. You know, there's been mass shootings. There's been like huge accidents. There's been the fires in Los Angeles. There's been all kinds of stuff going on.
Everything's just been fucking nuts.
It's been crazy, yeah. You know, and then of course there is the politics angle, but you know.
Yeah, but besides that, even like, I mean, the politics angle is crazy, but even besides that, you're right. Like everything's like the weather, the fucking like the mass shootings, the fucking people driving in. Like as soon as it happened, like dude drove into New Orleans.
Yeah.
And then what about like that other dude that was like outside the fucking hotel, fucking blown up?
Someone got shot in front of the White House the other day.
No shit.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Someone got expired in front of the White House.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They got like,
And then also there was drones over by Mar-a-Lago when he was there.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, there's been some weird stuff on that too.
And then he's like releasing the fucking assassination attempts.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We're gonna learn a lot about assassinations, I think, in the next couple of years.
What do you think about that JFK shit? What do you think about? Do you think it's a driver that fucking turned around with one of them fucking? So they say they had this gun right at the time, which it was like an electric gun, which shot frozen pellet, like a little fucking frozen dart through somebody, and what it would have in it was like shellfish toxin, and it would fucking murder this person, like because the shellfish toxin would hit their system, their neurological system, and just break it down, so they couldn't even they just die. So even if they didn't get hit by the bullet and die, they were dead from that. And they think that that's why maybe the brain was gone after he went to the hospital. You know, his brain was fucking gone somewhere between that and the hospital.
Well,
you know, even Pearl Jam did that song. Who's got the brain of JFK? What's it mean to us now? You know what I mean? Like,
well, you know, it's kind of funny. The government has a history of losing assassinated presidents' brains. Like they lost Lincoln's brain, they lost JFK's brain.
Did they lose Lincoln's brain?
Yeah, they lost Lincoln's brain too.
I didn't even remember.
Yeah. Also, like I'm from Dallas, you know, the city he got unalived. Sorry, and you know, the local tale has always been that there is a guy in the like sewage drain with a suppressed 45 taking the first couple of shots. And from Trump's first administration, they released some JFK stuff, and some of it said that like Oswald was an FBI informant and a counter like agent for the Soviets. Like it's very likely that he went to the Soviet Union to spy on them and then came back. So it's very likely he was actually a patriot and was actually trying to shoot at the guy that was shooting at Kennedy. I think he was an FBI counter sniper that was honestly there to protect the president.
And he got set up. He was just a patsy.
Yeah.
That was the man. Is that what you just said a minute ago?
Yeah, pretty much.
Jeez.
I think that's what happened.
All right, yeah.
I mean, they burn assets all the time. And also it looks...
Absolutely they do.
It looks like, you know, the guy was a Marine, and every Marine's a fucking decent rifleman. It's rare that they produce bad ones, you know.
I mean, you take them with good eyesight, you take them with...
Yeah, or bad even. They got Marines with glasses that shoot good.
Oh, really?
Of course.
They don't LASIK surgery, them bitches?
Not back then in the 60s. Come on.
No.
And he was like,
I'm talking about now.
No, they don't. You get LASIK before military.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
do they pay for it?
No.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Jesus.
Like if you're in the military and your eyes degrade, they probably do. Especially if you're like some kind of officer or something.
Like,
they want to keep you around.
I don't know.
That's
seems like nice.
what I would imagine.
I'd want some.
You know,
some new eyes.
Keep some institutional knowledge in the fucking military. They'll keep you.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, that's something that I've, you know, it's been a local thing. My dad talked to me about it all the time when I was a little kid. You know, it seems at the time a lot of people thought that that Oswald was the legitimate shooter. Like that was, you know, of course that's
what the media put out. But, you know, and that's what happens. And that's what so many people, like in my opinion, maybe nowadays, and I don't want to get too hard into it, but like even left or right, so many people get so fed into the media and what the media is pushing out there and what the media is telling you is happening, and not really like exploring for themselves. So there's, oh yeah, that's what the media said, instead of actually like looking into it and going, okay, you know what, here's a little depth to what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like, what do you guys think? It's like, it's kind of crazy, but like, I think that maybe people should back off on just fucking taking for what the media says for granted. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think?
Have you ever heard, well, yeah, of course, obviously people need to think for themselves. You know, it's a very good idea to do that. Listen to people to, you know, hear about topics, but then look into them yourselves.
Yep. And then make your opinion. And maybe not everything has to be like so raged to death for everybody else. Like,
True.
maybe we can just all get along if we like chill out a little bit and fucking think about some fucking things.
Have you ever heard about Seth Rich?
I don't know who Seth Rich is now.
Okay, well,
I know who Seth Green is.
This is an interesting one.
Is he
Okay.
funny like him?
No, well, yes, but not like him. He was a funny guy. From everyone who knew him, they said he was very funny. He was a DNC staffer,
DNC, what's DNC?
Democratic National Committee or Convention or whatever.
That means, yeah.
Yeah, they were. He was working in DC, and it was alleged that he was the guy that leaked the Clinton emails to info or what is it?
Infowars?
No, WikiLeaks.
Oh, okay.
To Julian Assange, and the dude had like pictures of him like wearing like an American suit, like all like USA, and like the guy wasn't like a crazy leftist or anything, even though he was like a Democrat. He seemed to be like just a liberal guy that liked America, which seems to be a dying breed, you know, whatever. But the dude ended up getting whacked in DC, and they said it was a botched robbery. But the guy was wearing like a $5,000 watch. All of his cash and credit cards are on him and stuff. Like, who shoots a guy and then like doesn't rob him if it was a robbery? Come on now.
I don't know. Depends on what else he had in his hands.
Wow, good, very good point. What if he had like some
Something
more
that was more
information?
important.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You know, I never thought about that. That might be a good point. But yeah, people even put that on like the Clinton body count. You know, like the rolling number of people connected to the Clintons in some tangential way that have died from mysterious or criminal
That
causes.
conspiracy.
Well, that's a fun one because you know how many people do you
That's a
know?
whole rabbit hole.
How many people do you know that have died through mysterious or criminal circumstances? Like, unironically, how many? Like, maybe 5 at most, if you're like
Me?
a normal person.
Me? How many?
Yeah.
I plead the fifth.
Oh, is it 47, though?
Have I been surrounded by 47?
47? That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Okay. That's my point. Like,
Do I have 47
even-
conspiracial deaths towards me? No, I have
Yeah.
nothing
Or
like that.
even crazier. Of like,
I'm not even talking about like that. I'm not
that's
even talking
crazier.
about like that.
No,
I'm talking
yeah.
about like, have I ever witnessed, been around, seen some weird stuff? Maybe I've seen some weird stuff. I've seen car wrecks, or I've seen,
Okay.
I've seen some things. Here's my thing. You said that you've seen a few near life death situations.
Oh, yeah.
Some weird shit, right?
Of course.
Now, how many people do you know? What, 10,000 people you've ever met in your life?
Well, no, definitely more than that.
Okay,
I'd say
that-
100,000.
that you've actually interacted with and met.
100%. I was a salesman for a long time.
Okay, 100,000.
100,000 people at
Okay,
least.
okay. And
Yeah.
how many do you think the president has ever met in his
The
life?
current president?
No, Bill Clinton.
Oh, Bill Clinton.
When you're talking
Okay.
about the Clintons.
Bill Clinton, for real, probably tens of millions.
Okay. Now, if you've been around 5, 10 fucking things like that, and you've only put yourself around 100,000 people, now he's been around tens of millions of people and only 47 conspiracies on him.
Wow.
I'm saying maybe that's just,
That's numbers. Sure.
you know, maybe that's just, he really didn't do it. It's just fucking,
Well, I'm not
he's
saying
been
he
around
did.
so many people that you could tie him to anything. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, here's
so
the thing.
here's a conspiracy.
Here's the thing. Sure, but these aren't just
Like,
like
be a fucking lawyer.
none of these.
Hire me,
none
Bill
of
Clinton.
these.
I got you.
None of these people that are on this list are like, I shook Bill Clinton's hand on the 1995 campaign trail. You know, it's none of it's like that. It's like his personal lawyer, his cook, his pilot. You know, like
What-
Hillary
what do
Clinton's
you
like
think about this?
business deals.
What do you
Like, come on, man.
What do you think about this Diddy shit?
Oh, that's fun too. That because they were together too. Like Diddy's been hanging around president. Bro, I went so deep into this when it first came out. Like it woke me up to a lot of this fucking this high level honeypot agency shit to like entrap powerful people to make them do certain things, you know. And
What'd you find out, dude?
well, let's start with Epstein's a weird guy. He lived in like New York, and his first job was from I think it was AG Barr's father gave him a job at some college as a fucking mathematician. And then from there, I think he was like moving girls from there to powerful people because he got his first like crazy job in like finance through that. And the same guy that gave him his first job gave him his like penthouse.
Wasn't it like I
Like
forget what it
stuff
was.
like Wall Street, like some kind of
I forget exactly what it was.
Perkins
but
Cohen, maybe Perkins Cohen. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I don't know. This is alleged. I don't know. I'm just repeating what I heard. But they give him his like first penthouse that was worth like 50 million, and then from there it goes on, and then he meets Ghislaine Maxwell, whose father is a confirmed Mossad agent. That's Israel's intelligence
Wasn't
department.
Elon Musk's like brother, like a good friend of his?
Elon Musk's father was a friend of Ghislaine Maxwell's father.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And Ghislaine Maxwell's, who is she? You were getting onto that.
Ghislaine Maxwell was his mistress or matron lady, the one that would recruit for these women, and his longtime girlfriend. And
she was a younger lady. She wasn't like too old, right? She's not old.
She was about his age, maybe 10 years younger.
Really? She doesn't even look that old.
Well, yeah, she's kind of hot.
She had, didn't he have like fucking like this young fucking kid that was like in college, and she was brought him like fucking 90.
Well, here's how his system worked.
47 or
here's how his system worked. He would
however many 2 minutes. It's all disgusting.
He'd have Ghislaine go find these girls and then say it's for a massage, like these 14, 15, 16-year-olds. And then they would go to his
trailer
house.
Park girls, right? And then fucking pay them like $400.
Most money they ever seen, ever had in their hands. Yeah. And then they would go, hey, go find some other friends of yours that wants this kind of money, blah, blah, blah. And then these girls would recruit other girls. And then eventually, through this, he would entrap these powerful people with blackmail of them, like videos or audios of them, doing things with these children. And
disgusting.
Obviously.
I know, I'm just throwing it in there for you.
That's pretty much the deal. And eventually he got powerful enough through all of these things that people start paying him. He gets up to like Victoria's Secret, Victoria's Secret models were involved in this shit.
But the first time he ever started, had his fucking, was convicted, wouldn't you think
zoomed in?
Wouldn't you think he'd be blacklisted?
This is like through the 90s and like early 2000s. He didn't get caught for any of this until like 2008. And that was also like, I think AG Barr was the fucking AG of Florida at the time. He gave him kind of a sweetheart deal.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Right on.
But before that.
But do you think, hold on, I got a question for you. Do you think that Diddy was involved with any kind of the Epstein shit at all? Do you think they were
doing the same kind of things, but I think maybe he was approaching a different demographic.
So maybe you think he had his own thing. You don't think it's all like interconnected and there's like one source that's like even bigger than all them guys?
Yeah, Satan. Satan's the bigger source, for fuck's sake.
Well, I don't mean just Satan.
People are evil.
I'm saying like they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
But there's got to be somebody out there that's fucking like orchestrating all them. Maybe even, and they're just puppets.
Well,
or do you think that they're like masterminds? Does Diddy look that fucking intelligent to you? Yeah, you ever seen pictures of him? We'll post one here.
Have I ever seen pictures of Diddy?
Yeah, he looks like a fuck. Like, how did that guy get on top?
I bet there's a bunch of things like this. So, what other questions do you have about this shit? Because honestly, I think it all boils down to intelligence agencies trying to honeypot people for intelligence and to use them for all kinds of shit. Like, why do you think Dennis Rodman's in fucking North Korea? Like, come on now. Like, do you think that doesn't have anything to do with the CIA? Come on now.
Well, I'll give you this. Dennis Rodman did his part in getting Brittany Griner back over here. Well, that's the first time he went over, right? Wasn't it to be an ambassador or whatever? Like, isn't that the first time he went over?
And that was to Russia.
Yeah, but not there. I'm saying first time he went over there and like, hey, made kind of a deal.
I think that was the dumbest deal. That was the worst deal in the history of deals.
Yeah, I agree. Because fuck Brittany Griner. Fuck
Brittany Griner. And why would we give the fucking merchant of death for some fucking...
That will not fucking stand up for the national anthem.
Absolute scumbag.
She'll kneel after that to the national anthem. She'll kneel after that.
All right. Well, all right. So let's talk about some interesting groups that have sprung up in American civics in the last couple of years, or what it seems to be a couple of years. Like, do you ever remember like the Tea Party? Do you remember that at all?
Oh, I feel like I heard about the Tea Party the first time, like 90s or 2000, early 2000s.
Like the 2000s, like the end of the Bush era, beginning of Obama.
I don't know what they were all about. I was a little.
It was basically early MAGA. Like in a lot of ways, it was early MAGA, and it was mostly like fronted by, you could probably say Ron Paul at the time. Like I remember it very well because like I've been entrenched in rightist politics my entire life, in my home life and stuff. Like my parents are both Republicans, but they were like libertarian Republicans. You know, like my parents didn't really care about like a lot of things that like real stuffy Republicans care about. They're more like working class ones. You know, give me some beer and some pot sometimes. You know, type people.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's better than being like a fucking cultic leader.
Well, that was
You
my
know what I mean?
dad, but you know,
Well,
unironically,
was he like
my dad's goalie.
what do you think about Charlie Manson?
You know, I'll tell you a funny story. My dad and Charlie Manson were friends, like, or at least rivals. They both had like cults in that Santa Bar or whatever that canyon, Laurel Canyon is called. Like my dad's group was like on the other side of Laurel Canyon, and they both were called the family, and they were both kind of like rivals and like fucking bickering at each other. Like picture like fucking like Hunter S. Thompson shooting at his neighbor. Have you ever seen that video?
No.
Yeah, there's a video of Hunter S. Thompson and his neighbor in a gunfight.
Hold on. So your
Yeah.
dad and Charlie Manson at the same time,
We're running colds.
both had cults called the family, and they were rivals.
Yeah, in Laurel Canyon.
Like what the fuck?
Yeah, they're both rival musicians, rival cult leaders, rival fucking.
Where did they have the same kind of
kind of, except my
concept?
Well, my dad's was like drugs and Jesus, and his was more drugs and murder.
What do you think about Charlie Manson being influenced by the CIA?
Oh, well, okay. It's likely that his mom was like one of the people like tapped for like, you know,
MK Ultra,
doing sex things for the government.
Oh,
because well, MK Ultra was around the time of his birth, or no, a little bit before actually. I think he was born in the 20s.
No, MK Ultra was part of his.
Yeah, well, like kind of. That was more like with that one dude that did Timothy Leary. He was a part of the MK Ultra project. Then they also got.
I'm pretty sure Charlie Manson was part of the MK Ultra. That was like the 60s or 70s or some shit.
50s on.
And
there's probably still
and like the LSD mind control. Because wasn't Charlie Manson? Didn't he like show up at the Beach Boys' house and like Brian or whatever came back to his house? One of the Beach Boys, I think it was Brian, but Wilson, and came back to his house and was like, "What the fuck is this whole party going on here?" And there was a bunch of just like women chilling out, fucking partying up, and he fucking comes up, Charlie Manson. He doesn't even know. Comes up and he's partying in his house, and he feeds him some LSD and says, "Look at all these ladies that are here," and they become buddies.
Yeah,
and they were hanging out.
Brian was trying to get him a record deal.
But didn't fucking Charlie Manson, wasn't he like, because of the CIA, like they trained him, they genetically, they modified his brain because they used fucking LSD as a fucking mind altering.
Waving your hand like that because it changes the camera.
Mind altering fucking thing. And I feel like maybe that was some crazy shit right there.
There's this book, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it like talks about Laurel Canyon in particular and all the people that live there. Like Jim Morrison lived there. And do you know who Jim Morrison's dad was?
Jim Morrison's dad? Who was Jim Morrison's dad?
He was a rear admiral for the United States Navy, and he was the guy actually in charge of the fucking like Gulf of Tonkin thing. Like the reason we got into Vietnam was because of Jim Morrison's dad.
Because of Jim Morrison's dad. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, you want to talk about that? That's a fun one. Yeah, fucking Rear Admiral James Morrison Sr., I think's his name. Fucking was like Rear Admiral, and he was the guy in charge of what happened at the Gulf of Tonkin, where they said that North Vietnamese ships shot at American boats, which I don't know if you know this. Don't fuck with America's boats. It's been our justification for war since the beginning of time. Like every time America
You're not supposed to fuck with American boats?
No, it's a very bad, it's an internet meme at this point. Like literally our first war, like after our revolution, was because of British fucking with our sailors, therefore fucking with our boats. And no, actually it was even before that. It was the Barbary pilots or Barbary pirates. And